Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and this is of course Model Railroad in the Southwest. Well, in the last video what you guys saw was both parking lots were finished with the foam sheets that I was going to use for the parking lots. I also was going to use them for the highways, and that did not pan out the way I figured it was going to work. I've used them in the past, but usually when I started to work on the highways, I cut the sheets out to the size that I wanted and not to the way the road or the highway was going to be. So that's was really easy about it because I just cut them out and it was the curve that what the foam sheet was. Well, when it came time to me trying to actually do the highway up this way, I couldn't get the curve and the lines the way I wanted them, especially over here in this area. And I was getting super frustrated, and I just ripped everything out and I redid it with Woodland Scenics Smooth-it, and I think it came out very good. It's better than the foam sheets. The reason that the foam sheets weren't going to work very well is because there's areas where there's the seams and they don't really meet up exactly true to each other, so it wasn't going to look very good. So the Woodland Scenics came out pretty freaking good. Like, I'm very excited with it. There's hardly any issues with it. It's super smooth as it is. I just need to sand it once it's dry. As you can tell, it's still a little bit wet, but overall I think it came out very good. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks just about as good as the foam sheets. We're meeting up with the building. As you can see, the Woodland Scenic Smooth-it really isn't exactly level to where the bottom of the building is, but it's not a big deal. It still looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to work on the grade crossing. Once I get that finished up, I'm going to record that and show you guys it installed. So that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and work on that, and I'll be right back. So here it is. Here is the Smooth-it all dried up, sanded, and some of the little air bubbles that appeared afterwards, I filled them up with some lightweight spackling, and I think it looks pretty badass, guys. I'm really excited about it. I've never used Smooth-it in such large areas, only small 2-lane roads, so I think it came out really good. So right now, what I just finished up was the grade crossing. So the grade crossing, I made that out of styrene, and I also continued the road there, and I used some plaster of Paris. It's a little bumpy, as you can see in the video. Not necessarily bumpy, it's just rough, but I'll go ahead and sand that up and it'll look really good because that's what I had to use right here. I ran out of Smooth-it, so I had to finish off the transition from the road up to the grade crossing, and I think the transitions looks pretty decent. There's not a huge like bump up to the road crossing, so I think it looks, you know, pretty realistic. So I had some extra plaster of Paris left over, so I decided to do a small rock formation right here, and I think it really adds to the scene. It looks pretty good there. Now what I'm currently working on is the curbs for the parking lot. I'm using foam. No, I'm not going to tear this one up because it's actually working really well. I'm using foam because I don't know what else to use for the curbs, just because of like the weird, you know, contours and the weird curves I have for my parking lot. So the foam is working really good. It's a little large for what a regular curb would look, but you know, it's really not a big deal. It looks decent to me. So I want to go ahead and continue that, and I'll finish it up here, and I'll give you guys a quick look of what it looks all done on both the UPS lot and the truck dealership lot. So I'll be back here in a few minutes and we'll see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so the curbs are finished and they look pretty freaking good. I'm really happy with them. Like I said, I made these with foam, and the foam I got is like, I think it's like 1/4 inch foam from Michael's. So I cut it up into strips, which are I think around, I think 1/8 of an inch or something like that. And I just glued them in with hot glue, and there's some little cracks that kind of like formed where the curbs met the Smooth-it. So I just filled that in with lightweight spackling, and I'm really happy with the outcome. I've used this foam before and I like the way it looks. You know, it's flexible, so you can get it anywhere you want. You can conform it to any curve you want. So that's what I really like about it. So next what I'm going to do is paint up the roads and also paint up the curbs and stuff and get it ready for road striping. And also I think before I do the road striping, I'm going to do the scenery in these areas over here, and then I'm going to work on that truck ramp soon that I'm going to make out of styrene. So overall, I'm really liking the way this scene is coming out. Over here is the grade crossing, and it came out really good. I still need to sand up that area right there, but here comes the Amtrak, so let's take a look at how that looks going over the grade crossing. So I recently finished up this Amtrak train here. I originally started collecting the Amtrak set back in November of last year, and I've just been piecing it together as parts have been on cars have been on pre-order, such as the diner and this coach baggage that's right there. So I have it in the Southwest Chief configuration currently. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sanding that part up because it's not sanded, and then I'm going to get to painting this, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. Alrighty guys, so here's the highway and the parking lots along with all the curbs all painted up, and I think it looks really good. I'm very satisfied with the outcome, and I think it looks decently realistic. So here's the grade crossing, and I think it looks realistic as well. So I got all the road lines all painted up, and that's kind of a story in itself because it was nothing short of a nightmare. So what happened was I taped it up, had it measured perfectly, looking really good, and I painted it. And I figured, well, I'll pull up the tape right before it's completely dry, that way it doesn't do any damage to the lines. Well, lo and behold, it turned into nothing but a nightmare. It pulled up the base color from the Smooth-it, and I was like, what the heck just happened? I've never had that issue before. So I got really frustrated, and I painted it all up again, and I taped it all up another 5 hours later. And then I figured, well, I'll let it dry completely this time, and it did it again. I was like, what the heck is going on? So I drove an hour to Hobby Lobby, and I got these Sharpie oil-based paint pens, and these things are sick. They work really good, as you can see. The only thing that's kind of odd about these paint pens is over here when you have like a double line, kind of like right there, even to the naked eye and on the camera, when you kind of pull back, they become a little translucent. I think it's just the color, honestly, but they look really good. I think they came out very good. And over here I did the parking lot lines along with the handicap spot, and I'm really happy with that. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next video is going to be scenery, and I'm going to put a bunch of little details like road signs and other little things. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in a comment below. So like I said, that's pretty much it. Talk to you later. Take care and keep between the rails.